I hope everyone is having a great night. We are joined by a really special guest, but before we introduce him, I want to introduce the panel today. On the top left, we have the one and only Italy Jet, who's a big Jets fan in the house. Bottom left, we have our friend Jeremy Fishman, up and coming sports reporter. Bottom right, we got the one and only Jiggy Man Porta from KOD Media. Go check this stuff out. Go check everyone's stuff out. They're working hard as hell here. And not without further ado, with our special guest, Darrell Reid. He's a Super Bowl champion. He won it with the Denver Broncos. He also played for the Indianapolis Colts. He was undrafted. He played for Minnesota Golden Gophers College. Man, what a great career. Outside linebacker. What a heck of a career. Obviously winning a Super Bowl and playing with great teammates, great teams, and learning a lot in the league. And he's doing great things off the field now, and really looking forward to this interview. And Darrell Reid, I just want to say thank you for joining us today. How are you and your family doing? And we can't wait to get this going.
No, thanks for having me. But I just got to fix something, because I got to be honest with the people out there, with the fans, especially with the Colts fans. If they be like, you won with the Broncos, not the Colts, that doesn't sound right. So I won with the Colts, just for the record.
Sorry, Colts, yeah.
Yeah. We beat the Bears in the rain. Devin Hester took the opening kickoff to the house.
Right.
Yeah,
That's my fault. That's my fault.
No, it's okay. It's okay. That Devin Hester kickoff is, a memory I try to keep, in the distance. So
right.
And he's up this year.
Yeah,
he's up this year for the Hawk.
Yeah, I
love it. Love it.
Finally, he made it for the final for the runner.
Yeah, for the finalists. Yeah.
No, so if you don't mind, Nathan, I was gonna say, now that we got the course correction there, and I appreciate that, because I was gonna do it too. But it kind of leads to my first question. As someone that has won that Super Bowl and all that, obviously, do you still relive that moment at times? Like, do you still sometimes sit back and have that, man, I can remember everything about that game? Because the way you just corrected him, it sounds like you pretty much could tell us what happened when there was 2 minutes left in the game, a minute 30 in the start of the game. What's that experience now looking back?
I wish I was that guy that could tell you every detail like that, but I'm not.
Yeah.
You got to get Peyton Manning on here, and he'll tell you every single play since high school. He'll tell you every single play, what he did right, what he did wrong, where the guy was open, where he missed him. But no, what's interesting for me and for that Colts team, just in general, is that when we won the AFC Championship against the New England Patriots, that was almost like the Super Bowl for us. Like, because getting over that hump, like beating the Patriots, it was just such a tall task for the organization, for Peyton and the entire organization, is just every year, having trouble with New England. And we played them twice a year, because we play them once during the regular season, because we were always in first place. They were always in first place. So that, you play the teams in the same place in the conference. So we would always play them every year, twice a year, and then we'd see them in the playoffs. So just being able to beat them, it was like such getting a monkey off your back, you know what I mean? Especially for Peyton, and Dungy as well, but the entire organization. So when we got to the Super Bowl, we were like pretty confident we were going to beat the Bears. Like
we just had our Super Bowl.
It's like
right.
The Bears had a great team. Don't get me wrong; they had a great team. They really had a great defense and a great special teams. Right. Their offense was okay. Right. They were subpar offense, but their defense and their special teams carried them. I mean, but we figured we'd be able to outscore them and slow them down a little bit. So we figured we'd win that game.
Italy, you want to go next, and then we'll go.
Darrell, level with me, buddy. I'm a big fan, but I gotta ask this question, man. With Peyton Manning, what the hell does Omaha mean?
Hey, you know what though? Before we get to that, Revis Island is up this year,
and I love it.
Yeah,
and Klecko hopefully wins it too. I'm super happy. But I've always wanted to know that, so I would love to know. Yeah,
so when I played for the Colts, I was privy to play some fullback. Me and actually Dan Klecko, Joe Klecko's son.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so Dan's actually from New Jersey, from like a town away from me. Like, so I've known him since I was young.
Very nice.
We met at like a high school party. He was a couple years older than me, so I was like looking up to him. But so we played a little fullback in the offense, and so I got to learn some offensive things, you know, and what the calls were, what the checks were. You know, we went into the huddle. We'd have like 15 different calls. He'd call 2 plays. We'd have 15 checks off of those. We could go from an I formation to empty. You know, you really had to have a head on your shoulders to be in that offense, you know, with Peyton. And he did not accept anything but the best. You know, any mishaps, there's no excuses. You know, you have to have, you know, really, really good execution with him. So what Omaha used to mean back then when I was on the Colts was it meant opposite. So, you know, we'd have a call, whether it's a dive call or whatever it is, and then Omaha would be the opposite of that call. So originally, Omaha meant opposite, originally. And then teams started getting the hang up, you know? So then Peyton would catch teams like by saying it, and they think it's opposite, and it's just a dummy call. So it really became a dummy call, you know? And then it became part of his cadence. And especially later on in his career in Denver, Omaha became like some quarterbacks go on green, right? Yeah. He went on Omaha. So if you go back and look at the film, I could say that because he's no longer playing, right?
Right.
If you go back and look at the film, it was like Omaha, set go. Like he would say that before he said set go to let them know like we're going. You know, so it became, you know, whatever he would do his checks, none of his checks would ever be Omaha at that point. There would always be other words, you know, Las Vegas, Raiders, Peter, you know, whatever he was calling. And they used to use everything. I mean, they changed their calls almost every week. You know what I mean? They would just always be constantly updating their calls. Mashed potatoes, you know, different stuff. Like they'd be making up anything they could think of that fit and help guys remember the calls they would use. So, but Omaha eventually really became like green, or like, you know, green light go, you know, or, you know, it became part of his cadence. So that's what it became.
It felt like Peyton should have almost like owned Omaha, right? Like copyright.
Trademark that.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like it changed with the Broncos, is what you're saying, from the Colts. Is that what
I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly when the change happened. I think it might have been before he went to the Broncos, but I know for sure by the time he went to the Broncos, it was definitely he was used, and you would hear it more. You'd hear it more, and that's why, because he was using it every single play as to say, "Let's go," you know, snap the ball.
Makes sense.
I love that. Well, thank you. Clip that.
23 dive on Omaha.
Hey, you
instead
said
of on one.
You said this story on our friend Arrow show too.
Yes, I did. Something a little similar. I gave you some more details that I didn't give him. You know, I can't give everybody everything. You know, got to leave a little bit in the cuff.
Just trickle it. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, well, people wanting more. I got it. Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Jeremy.
First of all, I want to thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. And I'm a high school athlete, and as a youth athlete, and especially when I was younger, I'd always imagine myself winning a Super Bowl, winning the World Series. Well, you actually did it. Did winning the Super Bowl live up to your expectations when you were younger about imagining it? Because I'm sure you've imagined it. We've all have.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's incredible because for any athlete at the professional level, right? You're putting in so much work. You know, this is the culmination of years and years and years and years of work and training, rehab, practice, you know, 2-a-days, and, off-season workouts and training and OTAs, and no matter the sport at the professional level, you're putting in so much work to perform at a high level. And a lot of times, the fans don't really see that as much. I mean, they get more access now more than ever because it's just cameras everywhere and social media. But still, like, you don't see guys training every day in the off season, right? Nobody covers that. But it's just such a grind to get to that ultimate level of success. And like I said, no matter the sport, and some guys never even make the playoffs. It's like, I was a Dick Butkus fan when I grew up. So in high school, I wore number 51. In college, I wore number 51. And Dick Butkus never went to the playoffs. As great a player as he was, like, so, just I was spoiled. I went to the Colts. We used to go 10-0 every season to start the season. When I got to Denver, I thought it was automatic. I'm like, what are we doing? We started off 6-0 and we started losing. I was like, what are we doing? What's happening here? Because I was just so used to we used to just come out. That Colts franchise was such a good franchise. I mean, look at the Hall of Famers that it produced, right? You got Peyton Manning, you got Edgerrin James, their head coach Tony Dungy's in the Hall of Fame. Eventually, Bill Polian's going to be in the Hall of Fame, the GM, right? From, he had the Bills teams, he had the Colts team. So, and then you have, Freeney and Mathis, you have Vinatieri, you have Reggie Wayne, you have Marvin Harrison.
Right.
It's laden with Hall of Famers. And, for those guys, I mean, they put in extra work. That's why they're Hall of Famers. They put in a little bit extra than everybody else. Yeah, they were talented, but to play at that level for a long time, to be a Hall of Famer, you have to be putting in a lot of extra work. And I have a lot of stories about, Peyton and those guys putting in a lot of extra work, But yeah, so winning the Super Bowl, I mean, and then, your family, because a lot of times they know how much work you're putting in, right? They know the sacrifices you're making. So, they're so happy for you. And, I remember that's all I wanted to see. I wanted to see my family because it was raining and they were watching the game in the rain. And like my grandmother was at the game and she doesn't really go to any games. And it's raining. I'm like, I want to make sure she's okay, and things like that. But I mean, it's the ultimate, it's the pinnacle, right? It's the pinnacle. And, like I said, I'm blessed to be able to be a part of such a great franchise with great players, to be able to ride Peyton's coattails and, the great players of that team, even like the guys that may not make the Hall of Fame, but were great players like Bob Sanders.
Yeah.
I mean, the Marlon Jacksons, the Kelvin Haytons, my guys, my class, that really made a difference on that team, the Cato Junes, the Gary Brackett's, undersized linebacker that, played. He was such a smart player. Like a lot of people don't understand, at his size, how is he able to last in the NFL, for a number of years? It's because he was such a smart player. And then you have a smart player on offense with Peyton, and then you got the quarterback in the defense for us, which was Gary Brackett. So, I mean, I got lucky. Those guys were putting in the extra work. I put in my work, but those guys were really, I rode their coattails, and the Freeneys and the Mathises. Hopefully Mathis gets in,
Yeah. He deserves.
I mean, it's crazy just to the names you're able to list from that time, man, from that Super Bowl, from that. I mean, it's crazy.
No, you know what? I look back in my career and, I mean, for some, that I had a short career, it was a 5-year career. For me, it was like amazing, right? I played with these great Colts teams, right? And then I go to the Denver Broncos and I play with Champ Bailey and Brian Dawkins. I'm with more Hall of Famers, and it's like, Elvis Dumervil, you know what I mean? And then I get to see a young Tim Tebow and a young Demaryius Thomas, rest in peace, and Sean Moreno, like really good players, you know what I mean? And so for me, I had like a great career in a short span, or what some would consider a short span. but for me, it was like incredible 5 years.
So before I get to my question, I just want to apologize for the mishap in the beginning. That's my fault about the Super Bowl thing with the Broncos, but with the Colts. You're gonna like this. We actually had Gary Brackett on our show before.
Really?
Yeah.
Gary's a great guy. I literally just talked to Gary probably like 3 days ago. And it's not like we talk all the time. Like I don't talk to, all of my old teammates all the time. It's like we catch up when we catch up, and it's like, we never left each other, right?
Yeah.
But Gary, I hadn't talked to in like a couple years, besides social media and stuff like that. I'm talking about like on the phone, right? Not text messages, like actually on the phone. And we had a great conversation. We talked for about an hour, and he's just so encouraging. Like even now, like in his post career, like he's a great entrepreneur. Had a number of businesses, and doing business coaching, and he's just an incredible person. And then if you his story, his background, how he grew up, and everything with his parents, and losing his parents at such a young age, and I mean, he has an incredible story, and it kind of goes into like something I talk about that I'm gonna share with you guys that I've been posting a lot about. I don't know if you guys follow me on social media or anything like that, but I've been posting a lot about the ski mask mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I know Nathan's seen it, right? I know you've been seeing that, the ski mask mindset. And Gary Brackett, I say that because Gary Brackett's a great example of somebody having the ski mask mindset of being like determined and unstoppable and courageous, and and also having a strategic plan. But he's a great example of like not giving up and things like that. So it just made me think of that, as well as like everything going on with the Darren Hamlin situation, like and just being a fighter and just unstoppable and fearless, and like I mean, he's such a caring guy. I mean, what a great guy. I don't know him personally, but I mean, clearly he's a great guy. You know what I mean? I don't think everybody had his jersey on just because of what happened. I think a lot of guys know him and could vouch for him on different teams, and some guys played with him in college and things like that. And he's a great, or Pittsburgh, and a lot of guys know he's a great guy. And Ryan Clark's a friend of mine, and he had amazing things to say about him from Pittsburgh. He knew him, right? So but he's somebody else that that ski mask mindset. He definitely has it, that unstoppable, determined, fearless, we'll talk about that more.
Yeah.
I mean, I like what you said there too, because that situation with Hamlin that night, we all saw, right? People coming together. I mean, guys, we literally watched the players get down on their knees, come together and pray over this man and pray for, like, I agree with you. I don't think not anybody can just get that reaction. Like, that's a reaction for somebody, not just the situation, but for him as a man, him as a person, like the way that team reacted and see everybody that way.
Yeah,
man, it was moving. And obviously, praise God, right? It ended up with great results.
And not just the initial reaction on the field, right? It's also like the reaction, like when he was in the hospital, like the amount of like raining support that he received from all over, and that's what really was like to me, like, whoa, like, he's special. And then his reaction when he came to, it's like, okay, it all makes sense. Like, right? It all made sense. It's like, this is the first things you say. Like, okay, you're not concerned with yourself at all. It's about everybody else, and those type of people are so rare, right, in life.
All right, did you have one, Nathan? Because I'm ready for the next one. It's up to me.
Yeah, you can go, and then I'll go, and then.
All right.
Rotation.
I wanted to jump over to, once the career ended, you jumped in the ESPN route, right? You became the content man, the host. How was that phase of your transition, coming from the game itself and then jumping into the media world? And what advice do you have for guys like us that are, jumping on cameras, doing this every day, trying to get into that content world.
No, I mean, you guys are doing it, right? You guys are doing it, and hats off to you. And one of the biggest things, and I think I said this in a post about Nathan. Is it Nathan?
Yeah, Nathan. Yep.
Yeah, I said this in a post about Nathan. Is that he's so consistent and persistent. Like, he's been trying to get an interview with me for literally like a year and some change. Like, and he's like, "Can you do it this week? And can you do it?" And I wasn't in like interview mode. I was like off the radar. I was off the grid, So I was like, no, not right now, not right now, and not right now. And he's okay. What about this week? Well, how you doing? Everything good? Your family good? And
yeah, that was like that. But now I have a team built, and then my team reached out to you. But that was like 2 years ago. That was before I built my team when I reached out to you. But my team,
yeah, I don't know it's your team. Don't tell anybody your secret. Everybody thinks it's you. Everybody always thinks it's you.
Yeah.
And leave it like that because it has a personal feel, So I mean, it is what it is. I've never received a message from anybody's account but yours. So as far as I'm concerned, it's always you. You understand? But also, it was 2 years ago, so it's 2 years. 2 years of consistency.
All right. Nathan, good job, bro. Chasing it down for 2 years.
And persistency, and I have a number of either friends or teammates that are in the media industry. Whether it's Ryan Clark, I used to train in the off season with Ryan. We trained in the same place in Arizona. Whether it's Jeff Saturday, who's kind of coaching now, I think.
Right.
But definitely, ESPN media sensation. Brian Dawkins, Brandon Marshall's been amazing with his podcast. He's doing amazing with that, and then he's got the whole facility and center down there. But it's like you never know. I knew Ryan Clark is special. Like he might be one of the best like ever. You know what I mean? Because he's just so sharp. He's so super sharp. He's like the Mark Jackson of football. Like I love watching Mark Jackson do basketball. Like he's like the Mark Jackson of football. He's like super sharp, real witty, cutting edge things, and he's even a little deeper than Mark, because Mark really does the games, and Ryan does more analyst commentating things, so he's able to give more analysts perspectives, more in depth. But man, what advice would I give you? You just learn whatever you can, right? Learn as much as you can. I remember when I was doing a little commentating and things like that. I learned how to do production. And then so now I'm able to utilize some of those skills I learned from doing production, whether it's setting up the show and the order of the show, the rundown, the schedule, whether it's booking guests for the show, even
if it takes 2 years.
Yeah, booking guests for the show, and then even being able to edit. I learned how to edit. I learned how to do voiceover. So now, like, those are all skills. Like, what doesn't matter if it's Final Cut or Premiere or whatever, whatever you're using, you can adjust and be able to utilize those skills for other things in life. You know what I mean? And other career paths and other things. So, just as much as you can learn, setting up a camera, lighting, right? You learn all of that, right? And so just learn as much as you can do. And I mean, it's also studying, notes. Those, the top guys, they do a lot of studying. They watch a lot of film. They take a lot of notes, and they're always prepared. They're prepared. You can ask them anything, and they'll give you an answer, even if it's some bullshit.
Hey, I've nailed that part of the job. All right.
Yeah. There's always a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Darrell, you can curse on the show, okay? We don't mind if you curse.
You know what? I really don't curse. Like it's very rare. It's very rare that I curse. Like I've kind of disciplined myself. Like I like get myself like together, right? So I had to like really discipline myself. I was undisciplined, you know, so in life. So I really had to, you know, discipline myself. And so I don't curse. I used to smoke a lot of weed. I don't smoke anymore. I don't drink, you know, but it's better for me, and it's better for my mind and for me to always have that ski mask mindset.
I'm getting better at the not cursing because my co-host literally started a swear jar on our shows. And after a month, I realized, oh, shit, I'm going to go broke. So I've become the cleanest dude. I'm just like, how's everybody doing today?
You know what? That's one way to get it done. That's definitely one way to get it done.
Yeah,
certainly.
It worked.
Certainly. Yeah.
So
whatever works, whatever it takes.
Italy, back to you, then we go to Jeremy.
Okay.
I'll go.
So I've been following, you know, you're off the field, you're a consultant, you're a mentor, you're a coach. I'm a really big fan of your story with all of that. What gives you most joy when you're doing those things off the field? Because it's really cool what you're doing.
I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. Y'all got time for a quick story?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to bore you. I don't want to bore the fans.
Hey, Darrell Reid, we are on. One thing about the show, we're all about stories. And at the end of the show, we do a fan Q&A. So
okay,
I'm out. No, I'm just kidding.
So you know, my career ended from a knee injury, right?
Right.
Actually, I'll tell you the whole story. We got time, right? So I actually got hurt in the 7th game of the season. Okay, we were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was like a freak play. A guy flew in the air. His cleat like hit the inside of my knee. And like I was limping, but I kept playing. I kept playing the rest of the season to the point where I wasn't even practicing. Like at the end of the season, I would just play in the games. My knee would swell up, and then I rehab all week, play in the game, knee swell up, rehab all week, and just play in the game. Go through the walkthrough, play in the game. So after the season, I had season-ending knee surgery, I had knee surgery, and my knee was never the same, you know, or it just took too long to get back to normal, right? And the Broncos didn't have any time. Josh McDaniels was on a short leash, right? So that ended up ending my career. And you know, it took maybe like I was trying to get back for maybe like a year and a half, 2 years, but my knee just wasn't right, and I couldn't run correctly. And a guy my size, you know, in the positions I played, it just didn't work. So my mom asked me, you know, when I finally told her, like, I'm not going to play again. I'm not going to keep chasing it. You know, I had the dream, you know, I won the Super Bowl. I got one of the hardest hits in NFL history. Nobody can take those things away from me. Right. So that was the dream. Right. I made it, you know. And so she goes, okay, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do with yourself? Yeah. And I said, I just want to help people. And she said, how the fuck you going to make money doing that?
Son, you're going the wrong way with things, okay? Let's reevaluate this.
Like, no, you got to get a job.
I don't know. I just want to help people. And she's like, how are you going to make money doing that? And I was like, I don't know, Mom. I'll figure it out, you know? And I've been trying to figure it out since. You know, I've been trying to figure it out. So
watch me.
You know, right? Like, just let me live, right?
Yeah.
So I tried my hand at different things. I come from an entrepreneur family. My mom's actually a psychotherapist. She has her own practice. She has like, you know, she's like one of the top psychotherapists in New Jersey. But she didn't even get into that career until later in life for her. You know, she was, you know, late 40s, 50 before she even got into that. But she's always been an entrepreneur. Her father, my grandfather, owned his own taxi business. So I grew up in an entrepreneur-minded family. My mom had like businesses and cafes and restaurants and stuff like that when I was younger. So I've always been entrepreneur-minded. So like working for somebody else, you know, after the NFL, it was like not for me, right? I tried it, you know, and I tried coaching. I realized coaching wasn't for me. I was the head coach of a team out in Arizona for 1 year, and we did okay. We did okay. We did decent. We made the playoffs. But it was so much stress, and like it was so much like control that I did not have over their performance. And I couldn't handle it. Like when you tell somebody, and I mean, it's got to be tough to be a coach, right? It's tough to be a fan sometimes, right? You're like, throw the ball in the right place. He's wide open.
Yeah.
Now imagine that happening over and over again at every position. Like we called the perfect play. What do you mean we can't? What's going on? We can't get the first down. So like for me, like it was just like so many things that were unacceptable. I couldn't handle it. Like it was my stress, and I don't like to be real stressed. My stress levels were super elevated when I was coaching, and it wasn't like a good place for me to be. So I was like, okay, coach is not me. I do some training. I train guys, especially like defensive linemen, linebackers, the positions I know like the back of my hand. Mm-hmm. I could train a defensive coordinator on how to run the 4-3 defense. I know the 4-3 like the back of my hand. Thank you, Gary Brackett and the squad. So I was a personal trainer, and then I've always been trying different businesses. Even when I was in the NFL, I was trying different businesses, like most of us, right? Like most players, either we're trying it on our own, or people are pitching us left and right, because they think we got all this money to invest, right? Yeah. So they're just pitching, and so but then I really found like my call. I did nutritional systems, and I was like the brand ambassador of a nutritional company, and I did that for a while. And that was helping people. So I like that. But then I kind of found my niche. What do you say?
Niche.
Yeah, I'm on the niche.
I do
niche. I don't care if it's right or wrong. I stick with niche.
It's niche.
Niche. We got niches and we got niches, huh?
Yeah. All right.
No, it's niche. It's niche. I'm just kidding. It's fine. I'm just kidding.
It's quiche.
All right, we'll go with quiche for the rest of the episode.
There we go. Wrap it in.
There it is.
Go get a cannoli somewhere.
So then I found my niche in consulting, because I'm able to work with a bunch of different businesses, a bunch of different personalities, and help them grow and help them businesses grow. So, I do a lot of, I enjoy like the analytical and analyzing the business, and then coming up with strategies to help them grow and help them in marketing and help them in different areas of their business. So I really enjoy that. And then, it's kind of evolved into me doing some coaching and life coaching, business coaching. So it's just, that's a good place for me. It's like I feel at home there, you know what I mean? And I'm able to work with so many different people from so many different walks of life. I have some clients that are in the sports world, right? And I have some clients that are in the tech world, and some clients that are lawyers, and some clients that are in wellness, but it allows me to be and I'm learning something from all of them, right? I'm learning something. So it's something where I'm constantly learning, constantly doing new things, traveling, and those are all things I enjoy. So that's what I do now, and one of the things I do, I'm part of a couple businesses. I help run a couple businesses, which is basically like consulting to me, right? Like it's like what I do on a daily basis anyway with my other clients. But I'm partnered in some businesses, and one of the businesses that I'll talk about really quick is called THP Medical. Yeah, let me touch on THP Medical. I can't leave my THP Medical team out. So we started a business in 2019. My college roommate, his name is Demetrius Johnson. He was my college roommate, and we started a business in 2019 after the Farm Bill passed and after CBD became federally legal.
Yeah.
And we opened up a retail store in Milwaukee. It's called the Hemp Professors. Okay. And from the Hemp Professors, and we've been open since, February 2nd, 2019. And, we're doing well with the business. And then we wanted to get into a place where we could help some other areas across the country, and so we came up with this sister business, because hemp was still like at the time like a cliche word, and they're like some people is like, oh, is it weed, and weed's not legal in this state, and so we had to, and the banks are like, you can't bank here and all that kind of stuff. So we ran into all of that, and so we were like, okay, we're not going to use the Hemp Professors for the long for the nationwide business. So we use THP Medical, and it's more geared towards like the doctors and the professionals, where the hemp professors is a little bit more recreational. But we're doing something with THP Medical where we're working with first responders. So we have an amazing platform for first responders that are going through. They're in high stress situations. They're dealing with a lot on a daily basis. The suicide rate, the divorce rate is really high amongst that population and that career. And they're dealing with, PTSD, and they're dealing with trauma all the time. They're first responders.
After the pandemic, I mean, obviously that's, takes a major toll on them. So that's great that you're marketing to that specifically.
And we all need them. We all rely on them. You know what I mean? We all rely on first responders. I mean, Darren Hamlin, back to Darren Hamlin, first responders, right?
Right.
So we rolled out an incredible program for first responders where we're helping them with their stress, with their sleep, with their anxiety, with their PTSD, and anything they're dealing with, any pain, inflation, especially with like law enforcement officers and firefighters, retired, active. And we have a great program for them that we rolled out. And my partners and I, we were able to do basically a scientific study on what helped them. And, we were able to come up with specific formulas just for them. So, I mean, THP Medical, like I said, I want to help people, so that's another way that, I'm able to help people through that business. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. And
to answer your question.
Yeah, kudos to you.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Hey, kudos to you, man, for helping out like that.
No, it's that I can't even take credit for that. That's really my team. I mean, the hemp professor and the THP Medical team, all of them. Like I'm like the I was like the guinea pig, early on. Like, they're like, well, you play professional sports, you're dealing with a lot of injuries, does this help you? Can
they're
you
like,
sleep better?
how's that knee doing? We got something for you. Come over here.
Right. Rub some of this on there, so
under the table, something under the table.
Yeah, but no, that entire team is incredible.
Now, you originally from New Jersey, right? Is that what you said?
I'm from New Jersey. Yeah.
Okay. Are you still Jersey based?
Yes, I'm Jersey. I'm Jersey based. You know what? I like lived in Arizona for a period of time, but I'm back in Jersey.
Where in Jersey? I'm a Jersey boy too.
I'm in Woodbridge.
Oh, shoot.
That's where I'm from.
Hey, we gotta meet up. We gotta meet up in person.
Definitely. I'd love to.
All right, it's only gonna take you 2 more years, Nathan. Let's go right now. Let's go.
There you go.
No. It took me 2 years.
Yeah.
But I'm back. We could definitely meet up.
Yeah.
You and Jeremy. I don't know where Jig is at. I don't know where the Jet is at.
Man, I'm in the Midwest. Shoot, I'm in the Midwest. I'm in St. Louis.
Where you at?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, you're in St. Louis? Okay,
Yes,
my uncle's out that way.
Oh,
yeah,
cool. Yeah,
yeah.
I used to work. Sorry,
Jiggy's in New York, right?
So you would think so, right? With all the shows I do in all New York, yes. So I'm in North Carolina because I'm not Puerto Rican from New York that was smart. Okay, I said cost of living in North Carolina with 4 kids. How you doing? I moved over here quick as shit, right?
What part?
I still travel.
What part of North Carolina?
I'm right outside of Charlotte.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
One of my best friends lives out there, right outside of Charlotte.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, basically New York, New Jersey at this point. You know what I mean? Like we all here now. So
for sure.
If it takes 2 years to book that lunch, Nathan, let me know what day it is. I will be in Jersey with y'all eating. All right.
Nah. We're gonna make it happen way before that.
Man, I'll cook.
Jeremy, Jeremy, we gotta look for a restaurant. We can I host. So real quick story. We consider, so we're good friends with Leonard Marshall, former Giant.
Yes.
Yeah. So he lives in our neighborhood, and we consider him family now. And I hosted my first ever autograph signing with Leonard Marshall in Woodbridge, and in the restaurant called Big Shots, if you heard of it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. So we hosted an event there in Big Shots, and Jeremy was there too. But So we got to pick a restaurant in Woodbridge alone. So
okay. I mean, where are you at, Nathan?
I'm in Jackson. I'm right now. I'm in Florida, but I live in Jackson, New Jersey, Central.
I mean, okay, so you know I'm from Freehold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like my family's from Howell. Like I still have a house in Howell, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's cool. You grew up in Jackson?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We gotta talk off camera. We gotta know some mutual people.
Hey, yeah, and then plus you gotta meet up with Leonard too, Leonard Marshall, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love meeting up with the old Giants and the old Jets.
Yeah,
for sure.
Hey, Jeremy, you want to go?
Oh, first of all, to say, me and Nathan actually met at a place at a autograph signing in Woodbridge.
Wow.
I don't know if you heard of it, Woodbridge Brewery or Brewery Company. It used to be JJ Biddings, but yeah, a lot of good places here. But one thing I wanted to ask, how did you get into like the game time mood before a game? Like I know for me, playing baseball, it's music and it's watching long home runs. That's what I've been using the last couple of years just to get focused and all of that. So what were you doing?
So I think I can speak for most sports players, right? We have our routine and we're like superstitious, right?
Right.
And so we have our routines, we're superstitious. And like for me, I had like a particular playlist, whether it might change like yearly, but once it's like the year, like this is the playlist. It's like maybe a song will come on, none are going off. Like this is the playlist. So you know, I had my music. And then I had the ski mask mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in Indianapolis, this is how the ski mask mindset actually came about. This is how the ski mask celebration came about. Let me start with that, okay? Since it's story time tonight, right? Nathan said I could tell all the stories I remember, so I'm gonna tell the ones I remember. So, I used to do this celebration where I used to put a ski mask on like virtually, right? Like my virtual ski mask. I don't even own a ski mask right now. I need to get one. But I used to put a virtual, and that was my celebration. But it was really because I have Freehold's Finest tattooed on my arms right here, right? Okay. So I wanted to be able to like show my hometown a lot of love, right? So that I came up with this celebration to be able to show the hometown love. That's how the ski mask celebration first started.
Wow.
And Marvin, and I would do it when I made a big play on special teams. Most of it was special teams. Made a big play or had a big hit. So if you see my big hits, like that's my celebration. It's the ski mask celebration. So Marvin Harrison saw me doing it and he came over to me. He said, yo, D, that's dope, man. You look like a bank robber. You a bank robber, you know? And we came up with this whole thing that we were bank robbers. And so before every game, during warmups, we would meet in the end zone and put on our ski masks before we went in the bank.
Wow.
And the game, you know, the game was like the stadium was like the bank. So you know, every game we would do that. And now his son, Marvin Harrison Jr., that's one of his celebrations.
Oh wow.
Is the ski mask.
That's dope.
Wow.
That's dope.
Wow.
Marvin called me coming back from I think it was maybe the Penn State game or something, but he was driving back and he called me. He said, and we were talking about his son, Marvin Harrison Jr. He said, "Hey D, man, you think he saw us putting our ski masks on? That's where he got that celebration from?" I was like, he had to. Where else would he get it?
You see, that's the difference, though. That's the difference. When your dad is an NFL star, you want to replicate things he does, right? When I'm your dad, you don't want to do anything I do. My kids are like, damn it, Dad, you a Jets fan? Not a single one of my kids like the Jets. They're like, we learned what not to do following our dad, all right? I'm going to start walking around the house. I'm going to be yelling at kids. I'm just going to ski mask all day long. I'm going in.
Yes.
I'm going in.
Yes.
You going to clean that room today?
Well, you punish them.
Hey, you got to ski mask and tag me. When you ski mask, make sure I'll put you on my story. If you put the ski mask on, I'll put you on my story.
I might have to take that for
and I'm
this
gonna make sure
baseball
it's a
season.
recording of me telling my kids to go to bed. I'm telling you, we got this. It's going social. We going.
But the ski mask mindset applies to so many different things in life, right? To be determined, to be unstoppable, to be fearless, to have a strategic plan, right?
Right.
To be daring, to be courageous. It applies to, you can apply it to so many different things in life. Like you might have to get up tomorrow morning and put your ski mask on to get through the day. Who knows what you're
gonna put the ski mask to get through this Knicks game this evening. What are you talking about?
Right. Yeah, you know what?
That's a trend.
I don't watch a lot of sports, but I did watch the Knicks lose to the Bucks the other night. And it was and I was like, Brunson, he's from Jersey, I'm always going for him. So
Jalen Brunson, let's go.
Yeah, he had like 40 or 42 or something. And I'm like, and they still lost? Like, come on.
All right, ski mask on. All right.
So, I gotta ask, actually, speaking of Marvin Harrison Jr., man, he's gonna be a heck of a player going up into college, obviously college and now NFL. Like his father, he's gonna be a heck of a receiver. The way he plays, and he plays exactly like his father. But
except he's like twice as big. Like he's like twice. I call him 2.0.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
He's Marvin 2.0. Like, he's the next level of Marvin. But he has those hands. He has that athletic. Marvin had an innate ability to, like, a lot of guys have pretty good footwork now, right? Because they all work on it, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, Justin Jefferson has been that magnet. A lot of good players, the top receivers, they all have good footwork now, right? But Marvin had impeccable footwork. Like, if you go back and watch his film, like, in the end zone, making sure he gets that toe tap. Like, I'm not going to say he's the originator, but he might have been the perfecter of like getting his feet down, in bounds, in the corner of the end zone. And I've seen Peyton and him do it over and over and over and over again in practice. And they would say after practice and do it. Like, incredible.
Harris is one of those receivers, right? No matter what team you're on, especially back then, no matter what your fan base was, those are receivers you'd be like, man, boy, could you imagine if we had a Harrison? Could you imagine if we had a Reggie Wayne? Like, you always pull from that Colts, right? You're like, if we had that over here. So to see his son, a bigger size, bigger body, and still have that talent, I mean, he has to have it, right? I mean, that's genes right there, right? So
yeah, he's got it in his genes. Yeah. You know what else he has, though? You know what else he has, right?
The name.
The ski mask mindset.
I was waiting for
that's gonna be the new
trend.
I'll do mine this way, since I got my kids' names on my arms. I just be like,
hashtag.
Hashtag ski mask mindset.
Hashtag
but seriously, Marvin Harrison Jr., you got to understand, right? Because when you're the son of a professional, it's not as easy to be motivated as somebody who's motivated because they don't have much, right? When you're Peyton Manning and your dad's Archie, and then Eli Manning, like, your drive is different. You have to have different reasons to want to go than somebody who's like got to help their mom pay the bills, right? Or, want to get their mom their first house, or, you have different motivations. So for Junior, his motivation is not the same as his father's motivation, right? But his mindset is the same. He's like a killer. So, all right, story time. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Before the next question, I got story time real quick. Story time. So I was watching the game, right? I was watching actually the Vikings play, right? And I was watching Justin Jefferson. Tony Dungy was doing the game. They were playing the Patriots, okay? It was the Vikings-Patriots game. That just came back to me. Okay, so it was the Vikings-Patriots game, and Tony Dungy was talking to Bill Belichick before the game. And Bill Belichick said, the one thing is, the commentators were talking about how Justin Jefferson moves around. You never know where he's going to be, They move him around to different positions, right? And they send him in motion and all this stuff, but they always try to get him on a mismatch, right? And Bill Belichick said in the sit down before the game with Tony Dungy, he was like, the one thing is we always knew where Marvin Harrison was going to be. He always lined up at the same spot, so I called Marv and I asked him, I said, Marv, how come they didn't, I'm watching this game. How come they didn't move you around like they're doing Justin Jefferson? You could have had like 200 more catches a season. Like, he's like, D, let me tell you this, man. I didn't care where they put me as long as they threw me that ball. And my job was to get open. I don't care if they knew where I was going to be. I don't care if they knew what I was going to do. My job is to get open and to catch the ball and do what the coach told me to do. The coach didn't tell me to move to a different position. I'm not moving. I'm going to be at the same spot every single play, and they still can't stop me.
Wow.
And that was his mentality.
Wow, that's good. That's
you
crazy.
see, yeah.
Big ass mindset.
Ski mask, determined, fearless.
Hey, I gotta ask you about. So speaking of coaches, obviously Tony Dungy. Can you tell our fans what was it like playing underneath Coach Tony Dungy, and what did you learn from him? And obviously, there's you can put it obviously one of the best coaches in the NFL, like Bill Belichick or Mike Tomlin, and you can go Tom Landry, but or Jimmy Johnson. But what was it like for you learning from Tony Dungy throughout your career?
I mean, it was incredible because Tony Dungy was like a father figure for all the players. He wasn't just a coach. Tony Dungy, he not only did he never curse.
Yeah.
Right. He never cursed. He's a really, really strong Christian, God-fearing man. Right. And he walks it. He walks by faith. He never cursed. And I only heard him yell one time in my whole career. We were playing the Tennessee Titans at Tennessee, and we were on defense, and it was third down, and we got to stop. And some of the guys were like slow to get off the field, and we almost got like 12 men on the field penalty, right? And Dungy goes, "That's not us."
Yeah.
And to hear him yell, it meant so much more, right? Because he never yells. And you're like, hey, listen, we got to get it together, fellas. Like, we cannot have Dungy yelling at us. Like, so the impact of him, just raising his voice or not even, he could say, I'm disappointed in you. And it was like your world just fell apart. You know what I mean? Like, he really had that type of effect on the players. And that, that organization was top down, you know what I mean? From Irsay to Polian to Dungy to Peyton to all the other great players, all the way down to me last on the roster, right? So I'm getting, what they're passing down from the top of that organization. And, incredible person. Like I said, he walks by faith, and he does great things. He does great things for the fathers. He's got all these programs. He's written books now. Yeah. And, incredible husband, father. He's a great commentator now, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Agreed. But an incredible coach. And, I was fortunate enough to be able to give him my own nickname, right? He actually played at the University of Minnesota.
Wow.
Yeah. So, we went to we had the same alma mater, and, I call him TD, right? Not a lot of people call him TD, right? That kind of was like my nickname for him. And, he actually let me call him TD, and to this day, that's what I call him. TD, I call him coach, but I call him TD, that's my guy, man. So much respect for him. So much respect. Him and that Super Bowl we played in was the first time two African-American coaches played in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He had just lost his son the year before. So it was like, to be able to win that for him, that was huge for us as a team, as an organization as well. Because he's just incredible. He's very, very calm, mild-mannered, very even keel, very even keel. Like, so many great things. Such a great person. Wow. Tony Dungy.
It's funny because you start off with saying that, he had that father figure mentality, right? And when he said, I'm disappointing you, like I felt it, like it hurt. Like I know that's one that hurts my kids, right? No, it's all right, guys. I'm just disappointed. Like being able as a dad to use that one.
Right.
So to know he had that kind of, and I think that's what we've all known about Dungy, right? That everybody talks so highly of Dungy and the fact that everything he was able to do as a coach, like he's one of those guys on my bucket list, right? Yeah. Like to sit down and have that one-on-one with Dungy, right? And like it's just so being able to hear it from you firsthand that what we see as fans and of the NFL and football, that knowing the man firsthand, what you see is what you get with Dungy, and that's dope.
And the other thing a lot of people, may forget, right, is that he built that Tampa Bay team that won the Super Bowl. That's his team.
Yeah,
that Gruden won the Super Bowl with. That was his team. He built that team, right? He built that defense with Warren Sapp and and all those guys. That killer defense, right? That was his defense. That was the 4-3 defense with Rondé Barber, right? That was his defense, So. I mean, he should get credit for 2 Super Bowls, not just one. But he just incredible person, and he I loved hearing his stories, like because he had the old Pittsburgh Steelers stories, because he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he'd be telling us, all these Pittsburghs. That's the tree he came from, the coaching tree he came from, and he'd be telling us all these old Pittsburgh stories and how he did this and how they used to talk about that. And, when you have a coach that also played the game at a high level and, they understand the game at a high level and they're also not talking down to you, right? They're talking to you like a man, you know what I mean? Like, well, you need to be a man too, right? Like be a man about your stuff. Right. So, it's incredible. Like if I didn't have Tony Dungy as my coach when I first started as a rookie, because I was a knucklehead, I probably wouldn't have made it in the NFL. I was a knucklehead. I was like, just pushing the lines like all the time, right? If I didn't have somebody like that was able to work with me and, put some discipline in me and, also allow me to play with reckless abandonment on special teams, I probably wouldn't have made it in the NFL.
Man, I love that. Darrell, I just want to ask, what is must-see TV for you right now at your position? Must-see TV.
Must-see TV for me personally or for the NFL or what perspective?
You.
Must-see you
in the NFL.
This is gonna sound so sad though. You really don't want my answer on this.
I want to know, Darrell.
So for the last 2 years,
I
didn't do it for a long time. But for the last 2 years, I played fantasy football.
Okay.
And so fantasy football actually got me glued back to watching football. Like, but no, must see TV right now for me. Okay. Aaron Donald. Is must see TV. Yep. The Eagles defense is must see TV.
No.
He's like, no, Cowboys fan over here.
Like, all right.
No.
I mean, the Eagles defense is I mean, I like them. They're a tough team right now. They're gonna be tough in the playoffs. Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
That Bengals offense must see TV. Stefan Diggs, and that Buffalo Bills offense, but they got a defense too, and they got guys coming back. That's must see TV. Justin Jefferson is must see TV, right?
Yes.
Saquon Barkley, must see TV.
Okay.
The return of Saquon this year. That's a good. I mean, he bounced back.
Player of the year.
He bounced back in a big way.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to be the comeback player of the year, right? He's got to be. He's got to be. Like, and he was on my fantasy team, so I got that.
So he's all about it.
But I just like seeing great I like seeing greatness, right? I love seeing greatness. And, sometimes like, on the interior with the linemen, it's harder to see it. It's easier to see with wide receivers and Pat Mahomes.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
Oh my God. I thought when they left each other, there would be some fall off, and there wasn't on either side.
Not even close.
It's like, no, they're both great without each other as well. You know what I mean? Like what incredible players, you know what I mean? But they're both must-see TV. I mean, that Kansas City is just like the best scheming offense.
Oh my God,
in the NFL, right?
Andy Reid is a genius.
Yeah. No, I mean, Andy Reid, Bieniemy also, like they draw it up in the dirt, they draw it up in the dirt, and they just.
I'll tell you what, you'll laugh at this. You brought up fantasy, so I'm a part of the Knights of Degen, right? We just threw our largest Knights fantasy football league. We had over 300 people in the league, $10,000 first place, all kinds of prizes.
Wow.
We had one of the guys in the league literally drafted Kansas City.
Oh my God.
He said, I'm going to grab everybody from Kansas City if I can in the draft. And he did. He said, I'm guaranteed I'll lose 1 week because I have nobody to play that week and they'll all be on the bench. Let me tell you, it was the best strategy I've ever seen.
Oh,
wow.
He literally won our division by having Kansas City the entire season long.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And like 1 or 2 other pieces, but nothing major. Like literally was Kansas City.
Right. Wow.
So yes, you're right. Must watch TV, and he killed it in fantasy. So it's nuts.
Yeah. Who you guys got for Super Bowl picks? Let's go.
Oh man.
I got my Giants.
Am I a little premature on this? Did you guys not go over this in a previous live or something?
Man, I don't know if I think for me, I think it's gonna be Chiefs or 49ers or Eagles.
Is this breaking news for
That's what I think. Yeah, it is breaking news because everyone's not talking. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do.
For me, I hope it's my Cowboys, but it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna be real. It's not gonna happen. So I'm gonna go with the Bills. I'm gonna go with the Bills and 49ers. I feel like with the Damar Hamlin situation, I think they're inspired. I think they're gonna play with hard. The Dolphins are in trouble this week. I think the Dolphins should just pack their bags. I think the Bills are going to come out and destroy the Dolphins this week. So I'm going to say the Bills and the 49ers Super Bowl.
Okay.
Ooh.
I've fully convinced myself that the Giants are winning it. I'm a Giants fan.
Whoa.
I need it to happen.
Look, if I had the believe sign, I would Ted Lasso that comment for you right now so bad. I believe.
Man, that's your first problem, Porto. That's your first problem.
So I'll be honest with you. I've told everybody I'm not in a state yet to give my takes on the Super Bowl. I'm still in my New York Jets pain mode. I'm still trying to figure out how many kids I need to sell to go get Lamar Jackson next year. Like, I'm still stuck over here.
Right. Darrell's like, what?
but not for nothing. At the beginning of the season, as a Jets fan, what did you think your record would be at the end?
So,
honestly,
perfect question. I called 8 wins this season. If things fell in place enough, I called 8 wins. I said realistically, I see us possibly being a 6-7 team, 7 wins.
Okay.
And with 7. So I've got what I wanted, but we ended the season with questions answered like there's no tomorrow. Like, people can't sit here and tell me we don't have a stud number 1 cornerback by the name of Sauce Gardner. How you doing? Garrett Wilson on the offensive side. Like, we've got so many pieces. We just got quarterback, man. We really do.
Right.
So
what about you, Jet? What did you think they were gonna go at the beginning of the season? Honestly.
Okay, if we had a quarterback and if we had a good offensive line without the injuries, I always think we were going to lose like 5 games.
Okay.
In my personal opinion, because I had the rebuild and everything, and I think with the team that just executes so quickly, I really had high hopes. It hurts, but I am looking forward to the future.
And so, one of the biggest things when I think about the Jets is that they have a coach now.
Yeah, exactly.
And so. And the players believe in him. which is a big thing, right? Because when they got to the middle of the season, you could see they're playing inspired.
Yes.
They're not just, like some of the past years, I mean, come on, where the Jets just like trickle off into like the sunset and like they're in the off season packing their bags week 12, right? So I feel like, he inspired them. They play well for him. And you guys have a lot of pieces, right?
Yes.
I like what's his name on the defensive line. Was it
Huff?
No.
Huff?
Is it Williams?
Quinnen Williams, yeah.
Quinnen.
Quinnen,
That's my guy. He came on strong this year. I like him. I like how he came on, and I know he's young. He's still really young. They got him really young. So I feel like you guys have a nice young nucleus. Obviously, you need a quarterback. You need a couple more pieces, but I feel like the Jets have something to build on. Where in past years, you're like, we're gonna have to start all over.
Right.
Same old Jets.
Exactly.
That's
what I'm saying, and that's why I don't have predictions yet. I'm not used to being in January still talking about, man, we had a good season. Like I'm still stuck on we actually played meaningful football in December. So that's crazy.
That's how I feel. I feel like you had a good season.
Well, for the Jet, there's another player out there that might be available. DeAndre Hopkins. Wink, wink. DeAndre Hopkins might be available.
That's true.
The Cardinals are thinking of trading him, and a lot of teams will be calling the Cardinals. I think, in my opinion,
I can actually see him in New York with his style. Just his personality, like off the field, the way he wears his hair.
That with Garrett Wilson,
or the Dallas Cowboys too. So.
Man, I have a lot of love for y'all, but stop. Get my hopes up. Just stop.
So I got Buffalo and Philly in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I got Buffalo winning it for some of the same reasons that that were mentioned earlier. Like I think they're going to be playing inspired football, and they have basically the whole country rooting for them.
Yes.
And it's a lot of power in that. Like it's a lot of power in that. So and
it helps that they're a solid team. Like they've got some
and they're a really good team. You got to be a really good team to be in it, but and maybe they might get Odell.
Who?
You never know now.
Buffalo?
You never know now.
I need him back on the Giants. He's
like, I can't. Hot take.
I hated that trade.
Hot take.
You think he's gonna go to Buffalo?
It's Buffalo or Dallas, right? Is that
Dallas or Buffalo?
The Giants for a little
bit. Look, like this is like, hold on. Don't forget about Dallas. Don't forget about Dallas.
We got T.Y. Hilton too, so
yeah. So you know what? If y'all got T.Y., maybe y'all won't get Beckham now. But he's not ready yet. That's clear.
Right,
otherwise,
right.
He's not ready. He's not 100%. And
he's getting that Carlos Correa treatment. They're like, whoa, the medicals don't look right. Sign this man.
That's facts. That's facts.
Hey, speaking of, sorry.
No,
speaking of the Super Bowl, Darrell, can you tell our fans and tell us going to what was it like after obviously beating the Bears, but after winning that Super Bowl? And then you guys, obviously, the season's a lot of up and downs. But what was it like for you just to come together, win that Super Bowl with Tony Dungy? And what did you guys do after all the post-game stuff? And did you guys go out, or what did you guys do after the Super Bowl?
Man, such a loaded question. It's like 10 questions in one. I'm a storyteller. So I'm gonna take you into the season, right? I'm gonna start you in the season. So we started off really hot, like we always do. Bob Sanders gets hurt, and we're giving up the most rushing yards in like NFL history, week in and week out. Like Jacksonville ran for 200, Houston ran for 200. It was somebody else ran for like 200. Like we gave up, like the Titans ran for 200. Like we gave up the most rushing yards like ever, like in back-to-back weeks, right? So we're going into the playoffs, and we're playing the Kansas City Chiefs in the divisional round, okay? And Larry Johnson just had a career season.
Mm-hmm.
He's unstoppable.
Yep.
And so, the commentators are like, Larry Johnson's going to run all over them. And Larry Johnson's actually a friend of mine. So shouts out to Larry. But, Larry Johnson's going to run all over y'all and all this kind of stuff. Right? But Bob was back for the playoffs. And so that was huge for us as a team to get a critical piece of our defense back. Really the heart and soul of that defense was Bob. I mean, because he was coming down and he was laying the wood, and then he was in center field picking stuff off. And, he was really the heart of that defense. So getting him back, we got a couple other players back for the playoffs, but getting Bob back for the playoffs is really what allowed us as a defense to be able to slow down the Larry Johnson, to be able to slow down the Baltimore Ravens when they had Ray Lewis and what's his name was the running back? Oh shoot. I think it was Jamal. Yeah, Jamal. Was their running back at that time. So being able to slow down these great running backs that had great seasons, was Bob. And so we go to the Super Bowl, we're playing against the Bears and Cedric Benson, another great running back, in his own right. And Bob is laying the wood. And then so that's going into the game, right? And then, after the game, it's interesting because this is like one of the first times in my life where I like missed the party, right? Like all the guys went out to South Beach because the game was in Miami. The game was in Fort Lauderdale or whatever, the old Miami Stadium was. But all the guys, got dressed and they went straight. It was Sunday night. They went straight to Live. Live was the Sunday night spot at that time. It still is. So they went straight to Live. Me, I was with my family. Like, I just wanted to be around my family. I think I said that earlier. So like I'm at the hotel with like the coaches and their families and like my family. And that's like one of the few times in my career where I didn't like go out and hang out with the crew. Like that was rare for me. So I spent that evening, and I actually have a picture with rest in peace, our D-line coach, Coach Tierlake, one of the best D-line coaches of all time. Hands down, one of the best D-line coaches. I could tell you stories for days, but I have a picture of him and me and his family and all of that from that night after we won the Super Bowl that I cherish.
Wow, what a story! What a story!
Story time, love it. Love it.
Hey Jeremy, you want to go?
Yeah. I'm pretty big into wings, and obviously we're right now in the same area. Do you have a go-to wing place around here? I mean, I don't know how you feel about wings, but like I feel like
I have a go-to wing spot around here. I just had the wings the other night, but that was like I was in New York. Big Shots wings aren't bad. Big Shots.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so
Big
good.
Shots.
They're so good.
Big Shots has some good wings. So I might give, Big Shots needs to give you guys a sponsorship, to start sponsoring the show, and we'll promote them. We'll promote their wings.
Hey, they had to give us a sponsorship now because we hosted an event in their place with Leonard Martin.
Right.
So.
Right, exactly. But we need that weekly sponsorship on the show. I'll give you guys my consulting fee on the back end. Don't worry about it.
Got it. Well, since you're out here offering consulting fees, I'm going to take my stab at it here, right, Nathan, on your show. So, Darrell, are you familiar with the Fan-Controlled Sports and Entertainment League, the Fan-Controlled Football? Have you heard of it?
Fan-Controlled Football. I have not.
All right.
I think I've seen it, but I'm not familiar with it. But
I'm going to give you the rundown, all right? So the fans call the plays on the mobile app. Okay. It's an actual league, all right? Ray Austin from the Jets, he's the commissioner of the league. They built this. It's season 3 now. We own a team, the Knights of Dejan do. So last year we had Terrell Owens on our team. He came and played in the league. We've got Johnny Manziel. We've got all kinds of players in the league and a lot of young guys. So my question to you is, I'm not trying to get you out of retirement, okay? I understand we got the THP taking care of the knee. We good. But what I do need is seeing how I get you out in Atlanta with me for one game so we can teach these young guys how defense really should be played, because I'm trying to get a championship this year. All right.
Okay.
So
yeah, listen. Listen. We can get jiggy with it. You know, I love going to Atlanta. You know, like I love going to Atlanta. I spent a lot of time in Atlanta. I have a lot of friends in Atlanta. I do a football camp like with one of my friends. He has an organization, Baller's Choice. We do a football. I'm in Atlanta every year, at least once or twice a year, doing a football camp. So I would love, and I may have some players for you.
Listen, now we can talk, because right now we just had our first tryouts this weekend in Atlanta. And our next round is in Houston. We got 3 more tryouts before the season kicks off. But yeah, we should talk. We should talk.
Yeah, I got a player for you. His name is Ashanti Worthy. One of the most exciting football players you will ever see.
Speaking of Ashanti Worthy, I know that so quick story, he's in the G League, if you know that, flag football. So they're in New Jersey. So I've done work with the G League team, and as I met Worthy before. He's a heck of a player, and Anthony Nolasco and J Rock, the owner of the G League, if you know them. I'm good friends with them too, and that's where Worthy came from, the G League, and then he made the Sports Center top play. I think he was on Sports, and I've seen him play in person firsthand. What a great player, and he'd be a great fit for Jiggy.
Yeah, I mean, we're building a squad, you know. I mean, luckily, the ownership group for our Knights of Degen, we've got Tiki Barber, we got Rondé Barber, Cynthia Freeland, Jerry.
Nice.
So we've got the scouts in place to find the talent, and we killed it last year. Highest scoring team in the league. We just didn't make it to the chip, but this is our year. So you and I need to talk. We
okay.
Need to get some pieces.
So you're the highest scoring team in the league, which means you gave up too many points.
No, what happened was it came down to a tiebreak. Now you got to remember, it's not normal football, right? You got fans calling the plays on the app. You've got 2-point conversions for when you're scoring. You've got it's amazing product, amazing game. But it came down to the tiebreaker, and it was the man up competition. So it's your DB versus your receiver, and it's just head to head.
Oh, I've seen that.
There you go.
Is it indoors? Is it indoors?
Indoor. Yep.
Yeah,
they built their own arena and facility. Dwight Howard came out last year, and he actually competed with us on the man up challenge. You want to try it out? But the league, it's great, and we're looking for young talent. So definitely, we need to talk about Ashanti. But, you know, again, get you out there, coach these boys up, show them how defense should be played. You know,
certainly. How many players on the field at the same time?
Normal, yeah. You're getting your 12.
11. 11.
Yeah, I'm trying to say we do a one removal. Yeah, 11.
11. Okay.
Make sure.
All right. And the fans are calling the defense?
I'm sorry, 7-on-7, because we don't do a full line.
I thought so. I thought it was
okay. So we'll talk. The fans download the app. You actually call the plays. You call
they call the defensive plays too?
Defense is being called by the defensive coordinator. We're calling all offense. Yep, all offense. Well, because right now, every week there's a draft. So you franchise tag one player from that week before, and then everybody goes back into the draft pool every week. So sorry, didn't mean to take over with this conversation, but I'm just trying to scout for my team here, guys. All right?
Hey, that's good with us. That's good with me.
We're doing story time,
we'll talk about that. We'll definitely talk about that off camera.
Do you have time for a fan Q&A?
For sure. I blocked out this time for you guys. So
so like we have so for our show, we have this app called the Spreaker app on my phone, and that's where our fans can tune in also, and they can ask questions on my phone. So we got a few of them for you if you have time.
They probably dropped off during story time. They're like, listen, enough is enough.
Yeah. So no. I've been getting comments too saying what a great show this is, great interview, and great storytelling too. They're saying, and we have a question from one of our fans. They want to know, what was it like? Actually, they want to know, where do you keep your Super Bowl ring?
my Super Bowl ring I keep in the safety deposit box.
Mm-hmm.
And I only wear it on like really special occasions. Our ring. So our ring is it's a blue horseshoe and it's like emerald. The horseshoe is emerald. And like I've chipped my ring so many times and I have to send it back to like the manufacturer. And it's a lifetime warranty, so it's not a problem. But every time you send it, it's like your heart stops, right? Like, okay, is it gonna make it there? And then is it gonna make it back to me, right? And like, so it's like, I don't wear it that much because, you know, I'm always banging it against something and then it chips. And I gotta ask the other guys who have our rings, like, do their rings chip as much as mine? Like, because I'm always like sending my back like every couple of years to be refurbished, and I'm like, it's stressful. You know, I told you guys I don't like high stress situations.
We'll take a couple more fan questions. The other one is, they want to know if you were not playing football. Obviously, you have all the business, but they want to know if you're not playing football, what would you be doing now?
Listen, my dream when I was young was to go to the NBA.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean,
hot take.
I played basketball like all through my childhood, all through high school. I played AAU, and I mean, I used to skip school to play basketball. Like I was like a basketball fiend, right?
That's crazy.
And when I got to high school, you know, as much as I played basketball, my football skills just accelerated so much quicker. And then I'm 6'2" playing the 5. You know, what college am I going to go to? I think Manhattan College was like recruiting me to like I don't know, get a government grant or something, right? Because like, what scholarship are you going to get at that level? Like, but you know, I had a couple schools like really, really tiny schools recruiting me for basketball. So,
wow.
But I love playing basketball. Not that I would have made it right at a high level, but I mean I would have gave it a shot. A shot.
Mr. Leon Rose, yeah, we still looking for trade pieces, right? I've got one we don't have to trade for. Darrell Reid is available to play for the New York Knicks. All right, I got you. We're good.
Hey, and another fan question here. They want to know who is the funniest teammate you played with.
Wow, the funniest teammate. The funniest teammate. I gotta say, the funniest teammate had to be. It's either got to be Cato June or Gary Brackett.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like two peas in a pod. So it's like, you know, we used to have this thing called when we were warming up, like in practice, right? During stretch, we used to have this thing called word on the streets, right? So we used to be like, word on the streets. And like we'd be like airing out everybody's dirty laundry, like during stretch lines, like you know, and sometimes Dudgy would, you know, like say something he heard, like, yeah, I heard you were out at that one spot last night, you know, like, but it was word on the streets. But you know, that was Cato June and Gary Brackett are super witty. They're both super witty, and you don't want to have both of them attacking you at the same time because it's definitely a losing situation. Like those guys are really, really, really funny.
And we'll take one more fan question. They want to know what's it like being back in the interviewing game.
Wow, that's interesting. That's an interesting question. So, you know, I like doing interviews, right? You know, I like doing interviews. You know, I was just going through a time in my life, you know, and where I was kind of like, I'm not playing football. I'm not, you know, almost like I was living my life for other people, right? Yeah. You know, and trying to figure out my life for other people, what they might want me to do, right? Or what's, you know, what they think would be a great thing for me to do, right? Or like, you know, and getting caught up in other people's opinions. And so because of that, like I like shut myself off to the world, you know what I mean? And it's really, now that I look at it, it's like God blessed me with gifts, right? We all have our gifts, right? And you know, if one of my gifts is to be a light in this world and to share my experiences and my trials and tribulations, because nobody's perfect, and I can help somebody else, especially like young guys coming up that may face the same things or may go through some of the same things, or are in a crossroads in their life and not sure which choices they should make, then I'm doing a disservice to God and the gifts that He blessed me with. You know what I mean? And not sharing, myself and my story and my passions and the things that inspired me and keep me going. And so I just had to put my ski mask on and get back out here. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Fast mindset.
hey, I love
That's
that.
it.
Yeah, I think I'm
gotta
kidding.
trademark that.
I'm just going ski mask all day, every day. Y'all don't understand.
All day, every day. You
That's
gotta come out here fearless,
Yeah.
determined, unstoppable, but
Look,
with a
Darrell,
strategic plan.
I told them.
I came with a plan. I got notes for this. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
I came ready.
Came ready, baby. I said I gotta touch on these points. I gotta touch on these points during this interview. You know what I mean?
Nathan, I told you. You see, yesterday we had to get rescheduled because Darrell was meant to be here so I can get this word today. Okay,
Yeah.
it was about me getting that ski mask. I couldn't make it yesterday, and we had to reschedule. You did too. I was like, that's it.
Yes.
I'm getting my. That's
Yes.
it. It was for the ski mask moment. I don't need nothing else.
Listen,
I'm good.
And not for nothing, I didn't have my notes in front of me yesterday. So I'm like driving in the car. I'm like, oh gosh. I'm like, can you wait till I get home? My notes are at home. Like, but it's everything works out how it's supposed to work out. And I think that's a great message for people to understand that, no matter what you're going through in life, no matter, what you've gone through, everybody goes through ups and downs, and whatever you go through, once you come out on the other side, it's just going to make you stronger.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just going to help you go deeper within yourself and realize the qualities that you have and you possess that makes you unique, because we're all unique in our own ways. You know, you just have to tap into those things that make you unique and make you different. Like, I wish I could, be as persistent and consistent as Nathan is, you know what I mean? Like, that's not me, like that's not my thing. But that's a great quality to have. And you can count on him, right? You can count on him 1,000% of the time. He's gonna be there, he's gonna be on time, he's always gonna be, it's the consistency, right? So, those are like, I mean, everybody has their thing, and everybody's special and unique in their own way. That's for you too, Jeremy. Everybody, you have things that you have, your makeup. Maybe somebody has one piece, maybe somebody has another piece, but nobody has the entire makeup of how you're made up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nathan, man, you better stop this episode, man, because if he gives us any more hot takes like that, we're going to get a bill at the end of this for the motivational talk, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you.
He's going to send us an invoice.
I'm ready to pay. I'm like, I feel like I owe you something.
So, all right, so before we end this, let's go around the room to promote your stuff and let people know where they can follow you on social media and what's coming next.
Well, you can follow me at Darrell Reid on all social media. I have a number of business pages. Follow the Ski Mask Mindset. Follow the Hemp Professors. Follow THP Medical. I'm rolling something else out, but I'm not gonna. I'll talk about it next time I come on. I keep it close to the breast. Yeah, follow all those pages. Darrell Reid, DarrellReid on social media. I'm also coming out with a new basically like life coaching, business coaching platform called the Ski Mask Mindset. So be on the lookout for that. I'm running with the ski mask. It's always going to be on. And I'm just looking forward to helping people. That's what I love to do. That's what my passion is. That's what I told my mom when I stopped playing football, what I wanted to do. So I'm just blessed to be able to be in a position to understand that, God blessed me with some gifts, and be able to share my story and share my experiences with other people. And, some people it may take to it, and it may change their lives. And that's what makes me happy, So really appreciate you guys having me on the show. This was amazing. This was great. And you guys do a great job, and, great show. You guys have some great players that come on, and I don't know. Like how do you get players to respond? Like
so now, all right, 2 years ago, it was only me. So I had to build the team because I couldn't do everything myself. So
you
now
have to.
So now I have a team that does everything for me now. And the next, I mean, after the last 2 years, this coming into 2023, I have a team of 12 people now, and we're looking for more people to join the team. You'll see, and you see 3 of them right here, right now. That's trying to help us with the stuff. So with the 12 people that we have now, I want at least 4 more people to join our team to make it 16 or 17, whatever. But I'm just grateful. They reached out to all the guests for me now, and they keep me in tabs. Everything, like whatever the players want, when they want to come on, or what time, and it's just amazing to see my team grow, and the 3 you see right now here on the platform, they're growing too with us, and it's just amazing. And the podcast, I consider people whoever has shows also. We're all podcast family here. So
right. And it's interesting because when you first started this, right? What, 2 years ago?
Yeah, I started this myself. All my friends back in Jersey when the COVID hit, they told me that I'm good in front of a camera and I have a voice for camera. And so all my friends said you should start a show with all the players going back home. All my friends told me take advantage of it. So I always thank my friends back in Jersey for helping me start this. So I started this shit all on Instagram Live first before I had all these stuff, the recordings and all. And once I knew this was going to grow, that's when I started building my team, which I have now. Right. So we transferred it to Zoom, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, the one I just mentioned to you with the fans can tune in now. So we have that on the phone. And then eventually now we're looking for a studio. So we're looking to be like a Pat McAfee show down the line.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do now. But man, this shit started on Instagram Live. And once I knew this was going to grow, the team came in and look where it is now. So
who was your first interview?
All right, my first interview was a hockey player, Devils player, Jim Down.
Okay. That's cool. No, I went to Minnesota, so I know quite a bit. I used to party heavy with the hockey boys. They used to live next door to me. Yeah. So like I used to go to hockey games. I actually have a YouTube video where I'm doing a tour of the Minnesota hockey rink, and so like I'm big on hockey.
Yeah, the other hockey guest we had was Ken Danico too.
Oh, nice. That's dope. Man. Congratulations, man. Congratulations to all of you guys, and hats off to the show. And I see you got Law coming on next week.
Lamar Harrington next Tuesday.
That's gonna be
dope.
Gonna be dope. Who did like my era looked up to LeVar Arrington? Like he was sick. He was such an incredible player. I mean,
amen.
For these young kids, they don't have any idea like how sick of a player he was.
Underrated. Severely underrated.
So you can thank my team for that. They're the one who reached out for me. So.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Good job, Nathan's team.
Let's go.
No, they're getting it done. You guys are getting it done, and shouts to the entire team, man. I mean, and shouts to you for recognizing that you need a team, and bringing the right players in.
Yeah, and the only thing, the one thing all of us have noticed now on our show is like players share more that they haven't shared before in their careers.
Right. You give them the freedom, right? Yeah. And you're not on these tight times, like and you got to cut and break and all of that kind of stuff, which throws off the synergy of the interview. So, I mean, the fact that you're on the platforms you're on, everything's for a reason, right? That's what makes your show unique. Yeah, it's a lot of podcasts and different shows out there, but what makes us unique is we allow the players to just go, and that's rare. It's rare because usually you're on time constraints.
Yeah. So, do you guys want to promote yourself too, Jiggy and Italy and Jeremy, before we go?
Sure. Real quick, Nathan, thank you again, man. I love what you and your team are building, and I love that you guys always reach out to me for moments like this.
Wow.
this is one of those ones I didn't want to miss. I was devastated yesterday. I was like, oh, come on, man. And then he heard I wasn't here. So Darrell Reid was like, nah, we can't do it without Porto. So he rescheduled. Yo, Mr. Reid, I appreciate you. The ski mask mentality, like the mindset, that is huge. And that's something I'm going to definitely take with me moving forward. And something that, the way you explained it, that I can explain to my kids as well. So appreciate the time today and being able to hang out with you. Those of you watching, you can check me out. I run KOD Media, so you can check us out on Twitter. Follow me at Jigga Porto, and you can see Knicks Morning Brew, Yankees Morning Brew, and the other 15 shows I'm producing. We got a lot going on, all right? Just follow me, and I swear I will write back to you. If not, Nathan's team will.
Let's go.
Oh man. So I'm Italy Jet. I do 9 to 15 shows a week, whether it's soccer or Jets content. You never know, me and Porto might come up with something in a bit, but Nathan, I love being with Nathan in his show and our hour, giving me such a good platform as well. I'm on Let's Talk Sports as well, everything MYJ, and also Italy Jet, all social media platforms. My dad's a big fan of you, Darrell. So my dad was like, oh, Darrell Reid, really? I'm like, yeah, Darrell Reid, got you. So yeah, so I thought I had to swing that in there.
I'd like to thank Nathan again for having me on. Appreciate it a lot. Darrell, the ski mask mindset, it's really hitting me. Like one thing I struggle with is determination, motivation, and really just kind of like accepting things the way they are. And I think the ski mask mindset helps with that a lot. So I really appreciate you bringing that up and the motivation you gave us. Twitter, Jeremy Fishman 2, trying to tweet more on there. Instagram, Jeremy Fishman _. So I'm really on, but again, thank you guys.
Yeah. So.
Oh man, you just touched me. See, that's what I love right there. Like that's what I love. Like the fact that you just said that. Now I got to give you a little piece. I got to give you a little bit more into the ski mask mindset, right? You ever seen the movie Heat?
I haven't.
You got to watch the movie Heat, Jeremy. Okay, yeah. You got to watch it. I know Jig's seen it. I know Nathan's seen it. It's a classic. Bank robber movie, okay?
Yes.
Italy Jet seen it, right? Heat, classic. De Niro, Pacino, classic movie, okay?
Put Pacino in it. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, So think about this, right? The ski mask mindset comes from, me pretending I'm a bank robber, right? Mm-hmm. So when a bank robber goes in the bank, it doesn't matter if it's security. It doesn't matter if security has guns. There's no stopping. I'm going in the bank and I'm taking what's mine. I don't care what nobody else is thinking.
Yeah.
That's the mindset. Unstoppable, fearless. I know there's going to be things out there. I know there's going to be hurdles in the road. I know there's going to be things trying to deter me from getting where I want to, what I want to get. Right. But that's not going to stop me. No, I'm gonna just put my ski mask on and go get it.
Yeah, so
love it. I love it. Love it.
I just want to say thank you to Darrell Reid for joining us today, and also thank you to our fans for tuning in and asking questions too at the end. I love my fans. I love the way they interact with us, and especially now Darrell, man, what an awesome show! A lot of stories, man, and keep up the great work. And like I said, we got to meet up in person in Jersey and.
For sure.
Have some lunch or dinner and then hang out with Leonard Marshall too. So let's talk about that off air. But I just want to say thank you, man. This meant a lot to us, and the ski mask mindset is the way that everyone should go to. So please, all our fans, go follow Darrell Reid for the ski mask mindset. Go follow that for motivation, because he's doing a great job with that, and he's onto something. So. But Darrell, thank you again. And please, everyone, tune in next Tuesday. We have the one and only LeVar Harrington coming on next Tuesday. So
it's going to be a dope show.
Yeah.
I'm going to tune into that one.
Okay,
I'm going to tune into that one.
Right. I'll send you the link so you can tune in.
Yeah, for sure. And you had my boy on David Clowney. That's my boy. That's my guy.
That yeah,
we got my guy. What a great show that was, man.
Hey, thank you. And recently we had Daniel Wilcox, if you know him.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know him personally. I don't claim guys that I know who he is, right?
Yeah.
But I only
Right.
claim the guys I know. If I say that's my
Right.
guy, you can call Clowney, and Clowney be like, "Oh, D. Reed, that's my
That's my
boy."
guy.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'll
so
send him. I'll send him your interview to him too. So you can check it out.
for sure. Sounds good.
But thank you.
No, thank you guys for having me.
Awesome.
Great. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. And
Appreciate
don't